What would it take to get you out of your car and onto a bus or some other form of mass transportation? That's what the planners of our traveling future are trying to figure out. Susan Frankieberger has more from Kern County's 4th Annual Transportation Symposium.
Whether by air, ground, or rail, we've got to change our traveling habits. Speakers from the transportation, development, and environmental fields tossed around facts and proposals regarding options. One keynote speaker of Transpo 92 was Gary Heathcote, a Southern California architect who calls himself a maverick planner.
It does kind of look like something from the Jetsons. We're trying to avoid that image a little bit.
Heathcote envisions transportation hubs that are built up, not out. Highways and light rail under one roof. Building above the land taxpayers already own and leasing it out to pay for the transit system.
You know, it doesn't even require high-rise. In fact, we looked at a portion of the Santa Monica Freeway and determined that you could build 3 stories above that as a potential for raising capital for a high-speed rail.
He also touts intensifying mass transit use along corridors, so businesses there can reduce parking space, add more buildings, thus supporting the transit system.
First of all, transportation must be efficient. If it takes a couple of hours to get across town, forget it. Second, it must be economical. Is it cost effective to ride transit instead of using my vehicle? Third, it must be safe. Is it safe at 10 p.m.? Would I want my family using it? Where are the stations located? Fourth, what is the public image of the system? Am I a first-class citizen riding it, or am I relegated to second class in perception? An example of a first-class image is BART in the Bay Area, where executives ride to work. To achieve a system that accomplishes these goals, we must first address our land use and transportation planning. Currently, as much as 2/3 of our land in urbanized areas is dedicated to the automobile, in roadways, parking lots, and facilities associated with our vehicles. We're spreading ourselves out and creating isolated communities and services that are only accessible by the automobile. Traditionally, communities have been designed to grow like concentric rings of a tree. It would be better for new growth to be designed along linear patterns with radial corridors connected to a transit hub. What form would this mass transit take? I propose raised rail directly above our current freeways and roads, with a regional high-speed rail linked to a local light rail such as monorail. Ideal rail stops would be shopping malls, business centers or community centers in attractive, well-lit environments where it's both safe and convenient. Intermodal transfer facilities involving freeways, high-speed rail, light rail, and buses could be located at the airport and other hubs. Now, how could we fund all of this? Let's take a look at 3 non-traditional funding sources that depend less on government bonds or new taxes. Building over freeways and roads, additional height limitations for buildings, and allowing additional building area along new mass transit corridors. This artist's rendering shows the exciting concept of using airspace and building both a rail system and buildings above freeways and roadways. The leases for development rights generate monies for high-speed rail as shown in this rendering. By using airspace over the roadway, there are no costs associated with obtaining rights-of-way for the rail. In addition, these buildings serve as excellent destination points for rail passengers. The concept of using airspace has been successful in Seattle, where a convention center and an adjacent park were built above an existing freeway. The second method of funding involves the developer's ability to increase building area above city height limitations in selected areas. The landowner realizes more profit from additional lease space. A portion of these profits could then be shared for a mass transit system. The third method of funding addresses current design standards for city planning. Most people are unaware of the amounts of land required for parking. This represents a typical suburban low-rise development. The building occupies about 25% of the ground area, while the other 75% is dedicated to parking and landscaping. As you can see, a lot of money has been spent to park cars, especially when you consider the cost of land. From this diagram, you can see additional building area that might not be considered under the current zoning and planning criteria. A mass transit system in a commercial zone would reduce the need for massive parking lots and allow increased building area. A portion of the profits from higher land utilization can be converted for funding for mass transit.
Now's the time for all of us to look within the design of our cities, not blame other resources or other areas. Look right here and say, gee, we really could be involved with public transit. We could go beyond what we now see in our cities and county areas and have something much better.